Okay, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elders who rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity. This is Kawhi. I got Anah with me and Shaquad on the camera. For this quick video, I basically just want to go into an account in Genesis in chapter 32. The story where Jacob encounters his brother Esau on his way home from his uncle Laban's house, and just get right into it.
This is Genesis chapter 32, verse 1. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of the Most High met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, "This is the Most High's host." And he called the name of that place Mahanaim.
Okay. So right off the bat, we know Jacob knows. We know that the Spirit is dealing with Jacob. Okay, because it says Most High's host. You know, he was met with him or met him. Okay.
Verse 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom.
Okay, so Jacob was on his way home from his uncle Laban's house, where he worked for a good while, 14 years if I'm not mistaken, and he crossed through Edom, where his brother was living.
That's right.
Okay.
Verse 4. And he commanded them, saying, "Thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses and flocks, and men servants and women servants. And I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in thy sight."
Okay. So Jacob, in his time at Laban's, he became pretty wealthy. He worked for a long time. For his uncle Laban, and he over the years acquired a lot of riches. A lot of cattle. Servants, and he married his wives and had his children there. Okay.
Verse 6. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him."
Okay, so Esau, Jacob's messengers went to go see Esau's camp, and Esau met them and heard Jacob was coming, so he came out with 400 men, a small army. Okay.
Verse 7. And Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds and the camels into two bands.
No, Jacob became afraid. Esau had a small army with him. And Jacob was there with his wives and kids. And a few servants.
And said, "If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape."
He divided them up so in case Esau threw down, got violent, which we know that's how Esau is.
Right.
He divided his camp up so that some may survive if some were to die. Right.
Verse 9. And Jacob said, "O power of my father Abraham, and power of my father Isaac, Yahweh, which saidest unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal with thee. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. And thou saidest, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for the multitude."
So even though Jacob was in fear of Esau, he remembered the promise that Yahweh made to his father Abraham and to Isaac. So he was he was pondering. He said, if Esau were to kill me and my whole family, how would that, how would that would basically make the Most High a liar. It would make it to where his seed wouldn't be able to multiply.
Right. That's right.
So he starts, pondering about that.
Right. Verse 13. And he lodged there that same night, and took that which came to his hand, a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milch camels with their colts, 40 kine, 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 foals.
Okay, so Jacob starts gathering some of his possessions and a plan to possibly bribe Esau from, to keep him from getting violent. So once again, Jacob is supplanting. He was always able to supplant Esau. We know Esau, the carnal man, and Jacob, the spiritual man.
That's right.
Okay.
And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, they are thy servant Jacob's.
Oh, and also notice how Jacob keeps referring to himself as the servant of Esau. Okay, and what did the omen say at their birth? It said the elder shall serve the younger. Okay, but Jacob keeps referring to himself as Esau's servant. So again, he's supplanting him. He's playing him. Because again, like I said, Esau will get carnal, but Jacob gets spiritual. Okay,
I was saying he's using flattery, to pacify any potential emotions that Esau, because you got to remember, this is after years of Jacob not seeing Esau, and knowing that the last time he did was living with his brother Esau, his intention was to slay him. So he doesn't know what his intentions are, so that's why he's praying to the Most High, making all these supplications so that he'll be in the best situation.
That was the reason he was in fear of Esau, because Esau vowed to kill him.
Right.
Because he's tricked him out of that blessing.
I'm gonna start at verse 18 again. Then shalt thou say, they be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, on this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me.
So he was going to gauge Esau's reaction when he saw that gift. That's right. To figure out how to deal with it.
That's right. Verse 20? 21. Okay, it's lucky. Verse 21. So when the present over before him, so went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
Okay, so this is where Jacob that night, it says, wrestled with a man, until the breaking of the day. In other words, Jacob didn't sleep that night. Okay, he continued, being vexed over his encounter with Esau. He was dealing with that fear. He was, basically going back over all through what the chapter was talking about.
Right. he was contemplating, you know, what could happen, you know, praying to the Most High that, man, I hope all that I've worked for these past 14 years don't go to hell, because he knows that Esau is a nigga, you know what I'm saying? Excuse my French, the so-called white man, you know, he's really, you know, he's carnal. He reacts off emotions. So, you know, he's just praying to the Most High, probably fasting, making supplication. All right?
Yeah, he was the Most High sent a spirit on him. To, you know, that's what it, you know, Jacob, he's girding up his loins, you know, to deal with Esau. And we get that precept now.
Okay, come on.
Ephesians 6 and 11.
That's right. I got you, brother. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
So that's what Jacob was doing. He was putting on that spiritual armor, you know, to stand against the wiles of the devil, which Esau is the devil. That's what he was doing. That's a direct reference, you know, to Ephesians.
That's right. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And that's spiritual, man, because Jacob didn't wrestle against flesh and blood. He wrestled with an angel.
He was wrestling with that angel,
you know? And that's beautiful.
We go back to Genesis.
Read verse 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him.
Right, and so Jacob got, you know, hey, he got crippled, you know. Yep. He walked with a limp. Yep. Probably for the rest of his life after that.
Verse 26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh.
The angel, the spirit said, let me go, the day breaketh.
No, that was Jacob that said that. Because if you keep reading, it says, I will not go except thou bless me. And he was asking a blessing of the angel.
But the angel said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And Jacob said, I will not let you go except thou bless me.
Oh, Salakia. You're right, brother. You're right.
So the angel says, let me go, the day breaketh.
Okay. Yep.
And then Jacob says, I will not let thee go. He's demanding a blessing from the angel.
Verse 27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. Verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power over with the Most High and with men, and has prevailed.
Okay, so he has his name changed to Yasharallah, prince of the power, so that he has power with the Most High and with men. Okay, is Esau not a man? Okay, so Jacob came to the realization that, you know, the power, you know, the Most High was with him. He had the power to prevail over that situation, no matter what happened. Even if it weren't to work out in his favor, and he knew and he remembered Most High's promise, you know, he made to Abraham and Isaac too.
Verse 29. It says, and Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name?
So that's it on that.
Right.
All right. So the point. Jacob, so I wanted to get that story to show that you know, that's a parable, so to speak, for Israel overcoming the wiles of the devil and basically putting on that spiritual armor and withstanding this demonic shit we go through in order to see the kingdom. Because what did Yahweh say? If I could get John 3, chapter 3.
This is John chapter 3, verse 3. Yahushua answered and said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of the Most High.
There you go. So, hey, Jacob was reborn that night.